mentioned it. At 7:45 last Monday morning, the doorbell went. I was expecting it. And a guy was there. There was no white horse outside, just a motorbike. Mr. Becker, I have a message for you from Her Majesty the Queen. And he handed me the parcel. Sign here, please, which I did. And I went back inside, and I looked for my darling wife, who wanted to know who was at the door. And I presented her with this parcel, which she opened. We both opened it, we both sat down, and we looked at it, and we couldn't really believe that it was us who had received this message from the Queen. Because it just hit us between the eyes that we had lived long enough happy together to have achieved that milestone. And the doorbell has been ringing pretty well regularly since last Monday, because a lot of people didn't know when our anniversary was. So we had an anniversary on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and today. So it's been one long whirligig, which has ended up with a lovely day today, which has been really super. It's difficult to put one's thoughts into words because you can't really put emotions into words. They are here and they stay there and you feel them. But I think you are looking at probably the happiest and probably the richest people you'll ever meet, because we have the riches that most people would envy, in that we have, here come the tears, we have such a lovely, lovely, warm, loving family, all around us, all the time. You can't get more than that. And we've enjoyed all the years we've had so far together with them, and hopefully many more to come. Now, a little bit of history that you may not know about Ruth and myself. I think you may or may not like to hear, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I had my eyes on Ruth at a very early age, of about 16 or 17. I thought, what a beautiful girl. She turned out to be not just beautiful, but very, very clever. She was getting much cleverer than me because I was the exact opposite. I skied my way through school. I didn't do very well. I became a bit of a problem to my parents, but I'll go back into that later. The main thing was that Ruth got to university in 1950, which is quite an achievement in those days. I don't know how many girls there were at university, Ruth. Not a lot. And it was quite an achievement. Now, her mum and dad wouldn't let her stay at Manchester University. She had to go every day by train, Monday to Friday, and come back in the evening because her dad wanted to protect her as much as possible. That's what more or less happened in 1950. You didn't let girls go out and about and do their own thing. You had to look after them. I was another story. At the age of 16, I went into my father's business. I didn't like it very much. And at 17, I discovered that if you go into the Merchant Navy for 18 months, that you would then avoid conscription, which was at the age of 18, you had to do 18 months in the army. And I wanted to see the world, so I went into the Merchant Navy. I got a job with Cunard White Star, and I went over to America and Canada on a regular basis, every 3 weeks, staying a week in America or Canada for that length of time, until I was 19. I came out of the Navy and my father assisted me to open a business in Blackpool. My next big project was to try and get Ruth to be my wife. We went out quite a bit. She was getting cleverer and cleverer than me all the time. And one day I said to Ruth, I want you to marry me. And she said, well, I've got to finish my degree. I said, well, I don't want to wait that long. So she left university for me, and she agreed to marry me. And then we had to go and tell her mum and dad. They were not very pleased. And their comments was basically, if you want to get married, we'll let you do so, but we don't want you to see each other for at least 12 months. If you love each other still after that, we'll let you get married. Well, there's nothing more likely to make you love each other more than being told not to see each other. So we saw each other in parks and people's homes, nowhere that we could be seen in public. And eventually, her mum and dad gave in and we got married. But I'm the luckiest guy in the world that Ruth agreed to marry me. I know I would have lost her if I'd have let her stay at university, because beauty and cleverness would always attract the right kind of man, and I was just worried about the fact that I would not be able to marry her. So I'm grateful to you, Ruth, for what you did for me. I don't know what path in life you would have followed without me. I'm sure you would have become a very, very successful professional person. But instead of that, you've had a wonderful family that you have given to me. And the riches that we've enjoyed, I think, have more than compensated. But in every respect, we've had a wonderful, wonderful 60 years together. And please God, we'll be spared for a few years more with our loving family. Now, the nice thing about getting older is that when you get older, your children do things for you instead of the other way around. You've got to wait a long time. Today has been a true example of that. This today has been so special. All that Linda and Jeff, Johnny and Angie, and Paul and Amanda have done to make today the success has been, we just can't thank you enough. I also want to thank each and every one of you for coming here tonight, particularly those of you who've travelled so far. I mean, it's extremely nice of you. I mean, it's only for a short stay, but it's just lovely, lovely being with you all. You've made it a very special occasion, and I hope you have a safe journey home. Thank you all for coming tonight and being with us.
Prince Philip.
What?